Let me share with you something that most people will not say openly, especially in today's world where feelings are treated as facts and emotions are mistaken for guidance. A man does not propose to a woman simply because she is beautiful. He does not propose merely because things feel pleasant and comfortable between them. And he certainly does not propose just because everyone surrounding him, friends, family, well-meaning relatives, keeps telling him, "She's a good woman, don't ruin this opportunity." No, a man proposes when three profound internal responsibilities align within his heart and mind. And if even one of these three is missing or incomplete, you do not get clarity leading to commitment. Instead, you get delay. You get careful excuses. You get, "Let's wait and see how things develop." Islam never treated marriage as simply a feeling you fall into, like stumbling into happiness by accident. It treated marriage as an amana, a sacred trust, a weighty responsibility you consciously step up to, something you will answer for before Allah on the Day of Judgment. That is precisely why this discussion feels uncomfortable for many people, because it means a man can genuinely respect you, admire you, enjoy your company, and still postpone making a decision about marriage. Not necessarily because you are lacking in any way, but because something essential within him has not yet aligned. So if this feels uncomfortably accurate to your own experience, that is actually good. It is supposed to resonate, because most people incorrectly believe that proposals happen when emotions reach their strongest intensity. But men who are serious about their deen move forward when something far heavier awakens inside them, something that makes continued drifting feel spiritually irresponsible. When these three fundamental responsibilities finally align within a man's consciousness, you do not have to chase him into seriousness or convince him of your worth. He becomes serious on his own, driven by internal conviction rather than external pressure. Now let us carefully examine the first responsibility, because this is precisely where most men unknowingly fool themselves. Number 1. He trusts her character enough to risk his entire future. Let me state the part that people often prefer to soften or avoid discussing directly. Men do not hesitate about marriage because they are confused about their feelings. They hesitate because they carry a deep fear of choosing incorrectly. Marriage, from a man's perspective, especially a man who takes his deen seriously, is not simply a compliment he extends to someone he likes. Marriage is a profound risk. It means tying your entire future, your daily peace, your children's upbringing, your family's reputation, and ultimately your akira to one single person for the remainder of your life. So when a man delays making a proposal, it is rarely, if ever, about physical attraction or surface-level compatibility. The delay centers on trust, but not the superficial trust that someone is kind and pleasant when circumstances are easy and comfortable. No, this is trust of a different depth entirely. This is trust that when life inevitably becomes heavy, when tests arrive, when challenges mount, she will not herself become part of the problem. This is trust that she will stand firm when standing firm is costly. This is precisely where deen stops being merely a label people wear or identity they claim, and starts functioning as a genuine filter for character assessment. Because anyone can appear religious when it benefits them socially. Anyone can say the correct phrases when others are listening. But authentic character reveals itself in moments when there is nothing to gain from doing the right thing. How are Islamic boundaries handled when no one is watching? How are responsibilities treated when they become inconvenient? How are other people spoken about when there is no audience to impress? What does consistency look like when initial attention and excitement naturally fade? And this is where many people become genuinely uncomfortable with honest discussion. A man proposes when he reaches the conviction that this particular person will actively protect the home, not merely enjoy it while it is pleasant. Protect stability when chaos threatens. Protect Islamic values when society pulls in another direction. Protect him from future regret rather than unknowingly push him toward it through poor judgment or weak character. That is precisely why the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, did not instruct us to choose a spouse based on charm, excitement, or intense feelings. He pointed directly and unmistakably to deen and character as the primary criteria. Not because these sound religiously correct or make for beautiful quotes, but because these are the only qualities that genuinely hold firm when life stops being gentle. And this is where many people fundamentally misunderstand what delay actually means. They automatically assume that hesitation always signals disinterest or lack of care. But often, more often than people realize, hesitation means fear. Fear that has been carefully shaped by a society that taught men they must build everything perfectly before they are permitted to choose someone worthy of commitment. But when a man finally reaches the belief that marriage is not the catastrophic end of his stability, but potentially the beginning of baraka, divine blessing, in his life, that paralyzing fear begins to loosen its grip on his decision-making. And when that internal shift occurs, delay suddenly starts to look pointless. Which brings us to the third and final responsibility. Number 3. He stops viewing marriage as a burden and realizes that delay itself has serious costs. Let us be brutally honest about something many people prefer to avoid discussing. A significant number of men today are not ready for marriage in any objective sense. They are simply comfortable in a life structure where nobody can question their choices, where they can earn money, scroll through devices, sleep, and repeat the cycle indefinitely, where responsibilities remain optional and serious consequences feel distant and abstract. And they call this comfortable existence waiting for the right time. But here is the reality that eventually catches up with every man. The right time does not simply arrive on its own like a scheduled appointment. It gets intentionally built through difficult choices, or it gets permanently missed through endless hesitation. Most Muslim men today do not delay marriage because they harbor hatred for the institution. They delay because marriage appears to them as overwhelming pressure. Expenses they are not sure they can handle, expectations they fear they cannot meet, family interference they want to avoid, constant social comparisons, the gnawing question, what will people say? The fear of never being enough no matter how much they provide. So they keep pushing the decision forward, treating it like a heavy box they will eventually lift later when they feel stronger. Until life itself exposes the fundamental lie embedded in that approach. Because delay is not neutral. Delay is not cost-free. Delay carries its own price. Years pass steadily by, and the same man who said 5 years ago, "I'm still figuring myself out," is still saying identical words today. His income changed, his phone upgraded, his circle of friends shifted, but his discipline did not fundamentally change. His sense of responsibility did not mature. His emotional readiness did not develop. And quietly, almost imperceptibly, genuinely good opportunities slip away. Not because women became unreasonably picky, but because prolonged indecision makes a man look unsafe to build a life with. Then one day, often without warning, the thought strikes him. Not in a romantic moment or during an emotional conversation. In a completely ordinary moment. Sitting with family and suddenly realizing there is no real stability anywhere in his life structure. Watching a younger cousin get married and thinking with discomfort, how did he become this serious before I did? Feeling the deep loneliness after another busy but empty week, and recognizing that he has built an efficient routine, but not an actual future. And that is when the internal switch finally flips. He stops seeing marriage primarily as a burden that will weigh him down, and starts seeing it as structure, as protective framework, as a home that organizes his life and gives it genuine meaning and direction. Not because marriage magically fixes every problem a person carries. It does not, but because living indefinitely without responsibility does not fix anything either. It only creates the comfortable illusion of freedom while a man's life slowly empties of deeper purpose. Allah describes marriage in the Quran as sakina, a place of calm, of settling, of peace. Not a performance stage where you must constantly prove yourself. Not a luxury item you purchase when you finally have excess wealth. A home, a foundation, and men who finally understand this truth at a deep level stop acting as though marriage represents the end of their freedom and autonomy. They begin to realize it might actually be the beginning of their genuine stability and spiritual growth. So if a man keeps delaying indefinitely until every aspect of his life reaches some imaginary standard of perfection, he is communicating something real and important. He is still protecting his comfort more than he is choosing growth. He is still prioritizing ease over responsibility. But when he finally realizes that delay itself carries profound consequences, when he actually feels the cost in his own life, in his own heart, he does not need to be chased or convinced anymore.
He starts building. And men who are genuinely building do not keep others waiting indefinitely to see where things go. Final reflection. If something felt uncomfortably clear and accurate while you were reading this, it is probably this essential truth. Men do not fundamentally change simply because they are convinced by arguments or persuaded by emotion. They change when something deep inside them finally aligns. When trust replaces habitual hesitation, when faith stops fear from running every decision, when comfortable avoidance stops being the unconscious priority, that is when proposals happen. Not because someone begged persistently, waited endlessly, or somehow proved their worth through trials, but because a man finally stepped fully into who he needs to be as a believing person. And that is genuinely important to understand, because delay is not always a statement about a woman's value or worthiness. And commitment is not something you can force into existence by giving more and more of yourself while receiving less. Islam never taught us to chase certainty in other people's hearts. It taught us to look for clarity, demonstrated responsibility, and sincere intention. So if you are a man listening to this, receive it as an honest mirror for self-reflection, not as an accusation or attack. And if you are a woman listening, receive it as understanding of a reality, not as a final verdict on your situation. When something is genuinely real and blessed by Allah, you will not have to drag it forward through constant effort. And when it is not real, waiting longer does not change the fundamental outcome. It only delays your acceptance of reality. If this helped you see your situation more clearly, leave a quiet, Ya Allah, grant us clarity and sincerity in our choices in the comments, and say Ameen for someone else who is sincerely trying to choose correctly. Until we meet again, choose growth over comfort in all your decisions. This is Islam Explorers. I will see you in the next reflection. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.